Saturday morning flight sim.
It's not morning, you drongo. It's evening.
Evening, good day, good night. Welcome to Positive Rate. I hope you're doing well wherever you are in the world. Big shout out to Nighthawk, who's sitting on the tarmac with me today. We're completely inside Mexico today. Completely inside Mexico. But we'll be flying over Gulf waters as we cross from Cancun all the way to Mexico City, which is... you might not know this, but it's one of the highest elevations of any airport in the world, Mexico City. So that should be interesting. And it's probably going to make things interesting with the landing speed and stuff like that, because the air is obviously not as dense. So, never flown into Mexico City before. Even Valenta loaded up to says, "You've never flown this route before." I'm like, well, I know. So, I thought I'd set it for kind of like morning because I'm getting some really awesome views of the weather today. There's, just some, as the sun's kind of peeking through the clouds there. It's very overcast in Cancun right now. But, I mean, it's not raining. There's not much in the way of wind or anything like that. So anyway, huge shout out to everybody. Hope you're doing great. We're going to get the show on the road. It is a relatively long block time as well. I think it's about 2.5 hours. So we're gonna rock and roll here. I already have the flight plan loaded. I will go through that with you right now. 2 secs. Just get everything set up here, and I'll show you what we're doing. So we are flying. Runway 12 right today, so that is we're here, so we're going to be basically pushing back onto Charlie. We'll ride Charlie all the way down to Charlie 9, line up for runway 12 right, and take off. And it's a fairly abrupt departure actually as well when you are leaving. So where's the... that's not really telling me anything. Essentially, it's pretty much, as soon as it's wheels up, you're pretty much hooking right and then making a direct turn through using the UDGU 2A departure. Well, it's the UDGov 2A departure. That's what it is. So basically, hook and right all the way, intercepting on Gov, then going on plan, and we'll cross over out of Cancun. And then head over water for a bit. Mexico is quite a big place. And eventually dropping in for, it's the Anega 3A arrival. Looks like there is a little bit of noise abatement in here. So we'll be coming in over the city, and then hooking left as we get to Upton, down to Sutis, and then coming on a left-hand base onto runway 5 right today. ILS approach into runway 5 right. And that ILS approach kind of looks like this. Platform altitude now, like, remember what I said about the altitude here? 8,900 feet platform altitude. And the runway is 7,292 feet. So before we forget anything, we're gonna have to set that altitude. What did I say? 72. So that is going to definitely run this way up here. 7,200 feet. I've never had that high before. Pretty cool. 7,292. Actually, 7,300. There you go. I mean, have you ever seen that set so high? It's amazing. Anyway, we're just about ready to leave, so I've got the flight plan all loaded in there, and we are currently carrying 103 passengers, roughly 2,300 kilos of cargo as well. So I'm going to get that APU started, so let's do that. I'll put the beacon light on. And, oh, Nighthawk's already, he's raring to go. He's like, come on, Willy. Get this thing going. Let's get out of here. So we'll get everything powered up. Seatbelts can go on as well. Bring up the sim noises a bit. We got some kind of Mexican vibes playing in the background right now, so we'll play that for a bit. I think actually it's kind of got a mixture of Latin jazz as well. Hopefully the music's all right for you. Okay, I can see that APU starting to settle. Just waiting for power indication. There it is. And we got packs coming on now as well. We can bring everything on here. Yaw damper can come on as well. And brain lock. What am I doing? Okay. So we can just disconnect that ground power. Just ask ground services if you could get rid of that. And it's now disconnected. The plane is running under its own power. We'll get the push truck set up as well. There he goes.
This is ground. Stand by.
And where do we want to go? I think pretty much just straight out. Line up with a taxiway on Charlie there. That should do. Love that pushback tool. It just works so well. I used to fly the headwinds a lot, but oh, what is my time? Sorry, Nighthawk.
And all ground equipment is removed.
Okay, we'll set the brakes. There you go.
Parking brake set. Lifting the aircraft.
There we go, lifting the aircraft, okay. Time I'm using right now, I've currently got it set to 10 minutes to 6 local time, Nighthawk. 10 minutes to 6. Which has given us some really lovely weather patterns today. Okay, we can start.
Go ahead. Okay, select for push and start. Please release parking brake.
Parking brakes are off.
Commencing pushback. You can start the engine in the sequence.
Okay, packs off. Engine 2. And 2's alive. And fuel. Oop. Love those engine noises. Good start on engine 2. Nighthawk, you let me know if you want to take off first or second. It's up to you. Okay. Engine 2 in continuous. Just wait for everything to settle down with the pushback pressure.
Okay, pushback completed. Please set your parking brake.
Yeah, will do. Parking brake set. You want to go first?
Parking
Okay,
brake
no
set.
worries.
Lowering aircraft. Okay, sir. Clearance to disconnect. Pin has been removed.
Thank you very
Your
much.
side.
He's certainly taking his time to get out of here. Okay, we can bring packs on. Left side and engine 1. And 2's alive. And fuel. And we got some great news today too. There's a lot of really interesting news for Flight Sim, courtesy of our news correspondent, Notelex2411, also known as Dan. So a huge thank you to Dan for putting that together for us today. Okay. And one coming up on engine 2. Let's switch that in continuous, and let's bring in power, and APU can go off. Quick check top, no issues there. We can bring in packs. Oh, helps put bleed air on. People will be sweating back there. There you go. There's some air conditioning for you. Okay, text light, come on. You can see Nighthawk's already well ahead of us. Oop. Got my throttle on the wrong side here. I thought I had too much space on my side here. It's because I didn't have my throttle on. Okay. We got an FMC reset. Unable 230 knots at... okay, we'll look at that later. That's fine. If we just say 230A? Can we do that? Yeah, that should get rid of that message. No, it's still arguing there. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. We'll figure it out. Don't worry. Right, we need flaps setting here too as well, so let's get those flaps set. Do a quick check. Okay, still have a configuration warning, not sure why. Probably because our brakes are on, that's why. Yeah, okay. Okay, let's roll. I'll check if VNAV can go on. Oh, runway heading. Runway heading is 125. Flight directors are armed. Just take that down just a touch. Holding nicely at 20 knots ground speed. Don't want to get too much quicker than that. See, Nighthawk's already lined up. So we'll get up right behind them and then watch them take off. See, daylight's definitely starting to creep in now. So we had a nice layover in Cancun, a week of flying on the beach, enjoying the scenery. Couple margaritas, couple Coronas. Few tacos. Ooh, that's interesting. A separate stand area there. It'll be interesting to see, I think, with Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, they're going to use a bit of AI to fill in scenery bits, you know, like drawing mountains, making them look more authentic. It'll be interesting to see what they do with default airports. If maybe there's a bit more of an intelligent kind of use of AI there. So if you just have kind of basic default scenery, it might be a bit more creative with what it brings to that scenery. See, a little bit of wind there. About 9 knots, I think it was. Okay, just slow ourselves down a little bit. Okay, get those parking brakes on there. And Nighthawk, the stage is yours. Oh, hear those engines spool up. Off he goes. Beautiful takeoff. Okay. Alright, landing lights come on, runway turn off. APU is off, fuel's on, everything's going good there. Everything on continuous. I think we're okay. Strobes can come on. We don't need to load the light anymore. Let's line up. Rolling start. 50%. Rock and roll. It's derated climb today, climb 2. Nice long runway to work with, so.
Rotate.
Rotate.
Positive rate of climb.
You're up. Waiting for that thrust reduction to kick in. There's N1. Dropping the nose. Still manual. And we can bring in LNAV. Airplane has control. Flaps 1. And flap 0. RTO can come off. Landing gear to neutral. There's Nighthawk up in front. And we're starting to brush with the clouds now. There we go, calming down. So we must be flying through a restriction. Yeah, we got a 3,000 restriction there. And the airplane is flying those constraints nicely. What we'll do is we got a cruise altitude of 40,000, so I'll put that up. The airplane can fly itself up there once it clears the constraints. Yeah, and as I said, we got lots of news today. Really exciting news. Some big movements in the flight sim market. Once we clear uniform November 409, we'll be cleared up to 8,000 and then 16,000 respectively until eventually start climbing. Right now we're just in the soup. don't want the flight attendants to leave just yet. I think once we get above our next restriction here, I'll let them start moving around the cabin a bit. So yeah, not much in the way of scenery with the clouds like this. There we go. Should see that plane. Should see the airplane starting to increase again. Yeah. There we go. And I think crew can start moving about. To our next constraint of 8,000. Quite a few constraints on this departure, actually. Usually the sign of a very busy airport. Starting to break through the clouds now. Nice and fluffy. Just doing some checks so we can take off our lights there. Forgot about that. Engine start can go into off now. I'm quite happy that we're up in the air. Or TCAS is off as well. And now we're living off at our next constraint, which is 8,000. Up in the clouds. Oh. The joys. Well, while we're waiting on these constraints, we can look at our landing. So today we've got 5 right today, ILS approach. And the weather is looking okay. 14 degrees, a bit colder than I thought actually. So our runway distance is 11,000 feet, 11,500 feet. Tons of room. VREF 130. So we could run that in right now. Did it say flat 30? Yeah, I did, yeah. And ILS will be 109.10. With a heading of 55 degrees. Go. Lots of time to do that, but hey, just trying to make this things interesting. Okay, we've cleared our next constraint. We are now on our way up to 16,000. Transition altitude around here, I think, is 18,000 feet, similar to America. And once we get past 10,000, we'll be able to accelerate a bit as well. So go a little bit quicker, because we're kind of held at 250 knots right now. Okay, that's good. Lights can come off. And we can take the seatbelts off as well. I'll just extend the range out. So we're on a cost index of 6. So it is a D-rated climb. But having said that, we are going up to 40,000 feet. So nice and high today. Might run a fix in while I'm thinking about it for our airport. 235. Fix. And the distance of our approach ring will be at so we got one at 4.7, 1 point, and 8.5. I'll show you what I'm looking at there, sorry. So I'll set a ring for 4.7, which is our descent on the ILS path at 8,900 feet. And then one at 8.5, which is our entry MX 901 as we come in on the approach. So yeah, 4.7, 8.5. Have a look at what that looks like. There we go, there's our ring. So that's as we come in, that's where we're going to turn, so we can keep an eye on that, and that's where we will intercept the ILS path into a runway 5 right. Happy days. Excuse me. Alright guys, I'll leave you with some lovely views as we climb into the skies here. And I'll be right back with you once we hit cruise altitude with the news. See you in a minute. Alright, back with you guys. How are we doing? Steering pressure. Climbing nicely, passing 23,000. With a glass of water, actually. Still a lot of cloud cover, though. Interestingly. Yeah, you'd be a bit gypped if you booked a holiday in Cancun today, although technically I think it is nighttime there still, so maybe that'll burn off as the sun comes up real. I put on real time. And it's 7:17, yeah, it's still quite dark, so. Of course, it would be colder in Mexico, wouldn't it? Because it's quite high. Still, 14 degrees seems a bit frosty for this time of year in Mexico City, doesn't it? So while we're letting the airplane climb, we can just do a quick preview of our approach there. So we can see, that was our outer ring, 9,700 feet, and then dropping to 8,900 to intercept the ILS. Touchdown on runway 5 right, 7,347 feet. Crazy. We could probably set our decision height as well. So decision height for I think we'll go by radial altitude, otherwise we're going to be spinning that dial for ages. So 274 feet. You can see it moving there. $274, that's fine, and our QNH will be 3038. Very high pressure. So I don't think there's any danger of it raining. There we go. So that's ready to go when we need it. Keep an eye on that, obviously, in case conditions change. Seems odd that we would have 5 right, actually. Question that. You'd think we'd be better for runway 23 left, actually. Might have a look at that. Because we are technically landing with a tail. Not a big tail, and it is long runway. Interesting. I'm just going to rerun the flight plan just to see if it switches up the runway. Yeah, still saying 5 right, so Okay. Who might argue? It's a nice long runway anyway, so I don't think we have to worry too much about it. Passing 30,000 now, 31,000. So you can see Nighthawk up in front of us. Oh, there he is. He's off to the side there. We're still over land, but we should be over water shortly. Your runway data says 2 knot tailwind and a 6 knot crosswind. Oh, okay, fair enough. Should be all right now. It's absolutely manageable. $33,000. Love the cloud formations today. Look at that. So I got an idea. We're going to switch things up a bit on the stream going forward, and I might be starting a new series of streams called Storm Chaser. And the whole idea of it is we'll grab a plane, any plane, trying to find an area in the world where the weather is particularly awful, and go and investigate it. There's something similar coming out into 2024 and a more structured kind of mission thing, but I thought, hey, we don't have to wait to 2024. We've got weather now, and we can just go find it. So if you think it's a good idea, do let me know in the comments if that's something you'd be interested in. Because I do love weather, and I think if you want to be in aviation, you have to have admiration and absolute love for weather. Because such an important part of aviation is to understand it. So. Get a passenger view here. Should be coming over waters at some point. Let's see what our handy dandy map says. Nighthawk says, cool, but you know that means we'll probably have great weather and a hard time searching for bad weather. Yeah, I know. Yeah, you're not always guaranteed, are you? Yeah, should be over water probably in the next 10 minutes, I would think. You can just see all the different countries down there. Belize, Guatemala, Honduras, El Salvador, Nicaragua, and Panama. That's all your Middle American countries there. But yeah, just amazing how big Mexico actually is. You don't really think of it as a big country, but it's absolutely enormous. Nighthawk says we are on parallel courses on Valena. Yeah, I thought we would. I thought we were because you seem to be kind of offset to the left a bit there. Go check out Valenta here. There's Nighthawk. Slightly ahead. could always do an offset if I wanted to get behind them. See if I remember how to do that. And bum, bum, bum. I don't know if I remember how to do offset actually. No. .5 tons by the time you get to Mexico City. Oh, there's your altitude horn. We are approaching 40,000 feet, so we will be doing the news shortly. I'm just going to grab a glass of water first. Let's see if I can remember how to do that offset, though. And bum bum bum. Cruise. There's definitely a way. Oh, think Willy, think. I thought it was on the cruise page, but I guess I'm wrong. Top percent will be at 13:38 Zulu. Oh, I've changed the time in here, that's why. So we're not in real time at the moment. Actually, I should make it. Well, if we go by that, 12:36. Anyway, it's a long way away. 450 miles. Gosh. Things I used to, I mean, I know you could definitely do it with, definitely you can do an offset. I just cannot remember for the life of me how to do that. Oh, there we go. Route, offset. So I think, did we go 2 miles? Invalid entry, because we probably have to say which direction. So if I say left, 2.0. There we go. And we can just kick that in. The airplane will continue to fly the route, but it'll fly it with a 2-mile offset to the left. Which will probably put us roughly behind Nighthawk. Which is really clever. I mean, it's and you can see there's the offset path in there as well. It's mainly built in for traffic avoidance. So if you are especially on transatlantic crossings, if you're in a track and you're starting to gain on an airplane in front of you, you can program in the offset, and that will. We just have to remember to clear the offset before we. Oh no, he's still out. You're offset far more than 2 miles then. So what we can do is we can put it in an end waypoint. If we go back to legs, we'll say heading to Zorro. So what we'll say Vicmo. We'll just tell it to go back on course, and the plane should automatically reset itself to the normal path. There we go. So since we're doing that, why don't we override it to 5 mile offset then? That should really put us behind them, I would think. Things you do when you're bored, eh? There you go, and actually, there it is. So we've told it to end at Vicmo. And you can see that it's actually drawn the offset path back onto the course there, so that's really, really cool. PMDG is so amazing. Right. Now we're behind you. Now I'm behind you out, Nighthawk. Roughly. Oh, there's the coastline. As we approach the Gulf of Mexico. What's the point of flying with friends if you can't see them around you, eh? Passengers in the back be wondering what the heck's going on. Yeah, all these little clever things that airplanes can do. It's really, really cool. Okay, guys. I will be right back. I'm just going to grab some water. And I'll... leave you with... this view up the front as Nighthawk races in front of us to Mexico City. And once we get back, we'll do the news as well. Right back with you guys. Okay, let's see her up, still flying that offset, about 40 miles there. And BHSC, I think the plane, is if it does a soft merge or if it's quite abrupt. I've got some water now. Can't beat a tall glass of water. Do a quick weather check. Yeah, still the same conditions. Dew point at 10 degrees, so if the weather was to, or the temperature was suddenly to drop, it would start raining. But I don't think that's going to happen with the air pressure where it is at the moment. And we are now over the Gulf of Mexico. Very high ceiling though. We've got a bit of a haze layer right up to 40,000 here. So you might want to keep an eye on it in case we might get some icing conditions. I think we'll be all right, but it's minus 30 out there. What cruise speed do you have, Nighthawk? Did you miss the news? No. Thank you for reminding me. What a co-pilot, eh? There we go. Okay. Yes, let's do the news, guys. Yes, tons of stuff to talk about today. Tons of stuff. Anyway, well, not a lot, but significant news. I would call it. So just get that out of the way there. So, if you are an Xbox fan, this is massive news. PMDG 777 is launching on the marketplace, and that means it's coming to Xbox. And it's coming today, or as of when this article is written, so which was the 8th, so it's actually already out, I believe. So that is huge. That is proper high fidelity long hauler for the Xbox, and of course, some people like to buy things on Marketplace as well. I'm sure most people on PC have probably bought it direct from PMDG, but yeah, that's a big deal. And they've offered a preview of their freighter variant, which you can see there, which is pretty cool. Nighthawk says, "Oh, you're going 240 indicated." Yeah. PMDG at 777, $96 Canadian in the marketplace, is it? What is it for in Canadian for if you buy it direct? Sidnord. Okay, so this is pretty cool. They are doing Copenhagen Airport. It's an airport that I've actually been to as well. I already have scenery for it, but this is looking really good. And it looks like there's some lovely interior modeling as well. It's a very pretty airport as well, I think. It's got a very kind of contemporary feel to it. And yes, I have actually seen those statues as well. But yeah, it's looking absolutely swell. So if you like flying around Europe, Copenhagen is a lovely airport to fly into, I think. Aerogenesis. So Aerogenesis has received permission from X-Plane to modify the default Airbus 330-300 for X-Plane 12. this is obviously a huge news for X-Plane fans, and they're really going to do an overhaul. They've got some screenshots. They're doing a complete redo of the cockpit, which is looking absolutely splendid. Look at that, and the external detailing just looks phenomenal. I mean, the detail on the fuselage and everything like that. So that's huge news for X-Plane 12 fans. Very popular airplane through the years as well, the Airbus 330. They're going to do engine options as well, so you'll be able to get the GE CF6 or the Pratt's PW4000 engines, which is pretty good, and an EFB. So yeah, they're really going to town with it. There's no announcement date as to when they're going to be able to get this out, but yeah, that's definitely one to watch, and it's looking really good. Okay, brace yourselves, guys. Brace yourselves. FedEx has teased the 321, which is huge news, and I'm just hoping, it's not guaranteed, but I'm really hoping they're going to do an XLR as well at some point. But yeah, 321 is very popular mid-hauler for Airbus. And Fenix, of course, is the gold standard if you want to fly anything to do with Airbus at the moment. So, sorry, there's no more information there. But yes, they are coming out with the Airbus 321. Not much information about when, but it's certainly encouraging to see. And no doubt, if they're going to do 321, I think we can likely expect to see 321 variants such as the LR or the XLR, which would be really cool. So yeah, keep an eye on that. Beyond ATC, they have a new traffic injection system, or an update for it, and there's some footage here you can see. So that's looking pretty cool. I don't know how well it works. It'd be interesting if anybody has tried this and can let us know if it's pretty good. But they did a 42-minute showcase for this, and they're showing all sorts of things. So I think if you go on YouTube and search for their YouTube channel, you'll probably find it there. But yes, that's very exciting. Pilogy, they are coming out with Birmingham Airport. I'm not aware of any scenery for Birmingham at the moment. I could be wrong. But this is also an airport that I've flown into very often. And of course, if you've seen what they did with their Edinburgh airport, this is exciting news. Yeah, I don't know if there's any screenshots yet. I thought there was, maybe not. But that's just a little teaser of what they're working on. And Birmingham is a very busy place. Actually, it's not a particularly nice airport to fly through as a passenger, but it is obviously a very important airport in Britain, and it's great to see that we're finally going to get some decent scenery for it. Finally, there's a 737 MAX coming to Microsoft Flight Simulator. No, not that one. Not that one. We won't name names. No, this one is going to be done by iFly. I think they have already announced it, but they're showing some screenshots, and this is looking absolutely delectable. So obviously the MAX is best known for its overhaul on its multifunctional displays. Apart from that, I mean, a lot of things it's still very much a 737. So the startups and everything like that will be pretty much the same. It's just you're going to benefit from the upgraded displays. And one thing I didn't realize actually is that they still use the traditional FMCs on the FM7, so it's not electronic. But you do get benefit of the more sophisticated multifunctional displays. The EFB on this looks really nice as well. I don't know if we can get a close-up shot, but yeah, some lovely detailing in here. I love the lighting. It's looking really nice. And that's interesting. Yeah, the fuel cutoff valves look a little bit different, don't they? There's a shot of the overhead. So yeah, there are a few tweaks to the overhead, but all the buttons and switches are pretty much laid out identically to previous 737 variants. But it's looking really good. It's really good, and if it flies as well as it looks, I dare say we're going to be in for a fantastic treat. So that's the news today, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Some really, really interesting news today as well. And we'll get back to our flight. Okay. Where are we? Where are we, Will Robinson? Is that the right line? Top of descent. Okay, we can see still about 300 miles out there. Ways to go. Sorry, Nighthawk, I did miss your comment there. So PMDG on their website is, it's 103. So is it actually a little bit cheaper than on the marketplace? That's interesting. Interesting. The website is pretty good. 20% off except the 777. Means the 736 is $25 US. What a deal. I'll tell you what, if you don't have any of PMDG's products, I am flying the 736 here. It's just as clever and sophisticated as the larger planes too. It's a hell of a deal at the price it normally is, which I think is about $40 US. $25. I mean, it's a no-brainer, guys. You will never get a better airplane for that price ever. So definitely go ahead and jump on that. That is excellent pricing. We got an end of offset. Let's see, we missed the airplane coming back from the offset there. Oh well. We all knew it was going to do it, though, didn't we? We all knew it was going to do it. Okay. Anything else we want to think about up here? No, I think passengers are probably sleeping. There's probably not much to look at outside. It's yeah, not much in terms of scenery, but we are over water at the moment anyway. Imagine if you had a camera on the belly of the airplane. That'd be great. Seems a bit dark in the cockpit though, doesn't it? Forgot I had the dome light on. Just about to the halfway point, guys. Just about. It's probably one of our longer blocks as well. I seem to recall when I planned this, I thought it was around 2 hours, but I just looked at it this morning when I ran the flight plan, the sim brief. I was like, wow, that's a bit longer than I anticipated. So we don't always fly airplane or flights this long, do we? I think I'll actually go see what the prices are for PMDG while we're looking at it. PMDG simulations. Shop. Let's see. And I don't know if it doesn't look like these prices are we're getting those prices in Britain though, from the looks of it. So I'd love to get the 800, but I just can't justify spending $70 on another 737 at the moment. It's on sale, but it's been on sale for that price for a while. They show up in the cart. Do they? No. Helps if I can remember my passport though. Oh, there we go. That's right, I gotta look at the soft flying, so I'm using personal information here, so. Oh yeah, sure enough, it does, yeah. So the, And big welcome to Flight Designs, which I believe is Dark Fury. How you doing, mate? Haven't seen you in a long time. Hope you're doing okay. Right, yeah, I've got it now. So if you... So, Nighthawk is correct. It's there is a discount applied at cart, and it's $51, which is pretty good, actually. Very, very good price for that. Excellent. Well, thanks for the heads up. I might be tempted at that price. I just might. What a way to make an entrance, Stark. It gave me a bit of a jump because I was looking at the website. It was just like, God. Anyways, hope you're doing well, mate. Better days. Oh, good. Hope you're well. Yeah, I think we're all kind of going through our independent challenges at the moment. For me, work is just absolutely nuts. It's my new role is really, really challenging. Really challenging. And I'm finding it very difficult just to keep my head above water at the moment, if I'm being honest. The sale ends tomorrow on August 11. Okay, noted. Thanks, Nighthawk. Thanks for that. So we're flying to Mexico today, Dark. It's the highest elevation I've ever landed at. And just to show you, so that's our 7,300 is set. Absolutely crazy. But yeah, I hope you and the family are well, Dark. Dark Fury, I haven't spoken to this man in probably a month, as he's off dealing with, shall we say, the game of life. Slight tailwind though, so we're cruising along at 453 ground speed, that's alright. Flight Design says, between work and family and medical, yeah, I know that feeling about just keeping above the water. Yeah. It always seems to happen in the summer as well. I don't know if it's a biorhythm thing, but I always seem to really find it challenging in the summertime. And this is usually when I get my annual review. So I work hard all year, and I think, oh, I'm doing really well. And then something just goes tits up right before my annual review, and I kind of have to remind my boss that, on the whole, it's been a good year, but just not at the moment. So that was a frustrating conversation for me personally. I definitely get a lot of variance in the wind, though, at the moment. It's playing havoc with our indicated airspeed. Now it is getting very hazy, so I don't know, just got to keep an eye on it for icing. I think we're okay at the moment. But if anybody sees that icing indicator come up and I haven't noticed it, do shout it out. Oh, top descent has appeared, so that is roughly 160, about 200 miles off. we were playing with offset start. You missed it. So Nighthawk was kind of off to the left there, and I was trying to reboot my brain on how to put in an offset. But we found it eventually. Works really good. Just for something to do. Okay, let's refresh our memory anyway. So on our landing, we are going to be using flaps 30. Packs will be on, yeah. Auto brakes 3. Okay, I don't think we need that. So auto brakes 1 give us required landing distance about 9,000 feet. Now, what does that mean in practice? So we are coming in, what was it? We're coming in 5 right? 5 right. So in practice, coming on 5 right, yeah. So we're gonna, where's the terminal? Oh, there's 2 terminals. What terminal should we go to, Nighthawk? You pick one. I'm easy. Terminal 2 is probably a little bit easier because we don't have to cross an active runway, but that doesn't really matter. So yeah, depending on which terminal we're going for, we're coming in 5 right, so we'll probably take one of these high-speed exits around either Fox or Golf, depending on which terminal we want to go to. But if for the sake of argument, Terminal 2 probably looks a bit more interesting. I think I'll go Terminal 2, actually. Evening, pilots and crew. So there's Brett Plays. Hey, Brett, how are you? Long time no speak, sir. Great to see you. Yeah, I think we'll go Terminal 2. So if we're coming in 5 right, probably hit the high-speed exit on Golf, or possibly Bravo. Backtrack on Delta, up to Echo, and then find our way into Terminal 2 here. Doing well. I am glad to hear that. I'm doing okay. I'm doing okay. Work is exceptionally challenging right now, but surviving definitely. Family, on the other hand, is doing really well. My daughter got her exam results from high school back, and this is a kid that didn't think she could get a single A. And she ended up getting 5 of them, so we're enormously proud of her. She's worked really hard this year as well. She really commits herself to studying, and we're absolutely delighted that she's doing so well. So that was a bit of good news this week. Took my mind off work for 20 minutes anyway. Awesome, yeah, it is. I absolutely. She's not a big hugger. I mean, she does give me hugs, but she came through and said, "Dad," I said, "Yeah, what's up?" She goes, "I got 5 days," and she was almost in tears. She was so delighted with herself, and it was one of those. It's a more rare moment as they get older. Obviously, she's a young woman now. She's not a kid. Good head on her shoulders as well, but it was that one moment where she was so excited she wanted to tell her dad, and she gave me a big hug, and I was so happy. Yeah, it's you gotta cherish those moments, because as they get older, they talk to you less and less. It's usually, or it's one-word transactions like, "Are you taking the dog out today?" "Yeah." Or, Could you wash those pots for me?" "I guess." I heard a great expression once. It said, having a teenager is like having a vampire. You never see them until the nighttime, and then they just exist as like a shadow slamming a door shut. Okay. Where are we today? still over water. We should be hitting land eventually. Yeah, we're about midway point through our water crossing here. Oh, this is a long flight. But yeah, I'm glad you're doing okay, Brett. Really glad to hear that. What's the temperature like where you guys are at the moment? Teenagers are in a world of their own. Yeah, they certainly are. They certainly are, sir. By the way, guys, anyone watching, please do smash that like for me. And if you are watching just off chance and you're new to the channel, please do subscribe. We'd love to hear feedback from you as well. If there's any places you'd like us to fly or anything that you'd like to do. I was just saying earlier that I have an idea about maybe doing like a storm chaser series where we just open up the weather maps and see if we can find a nasty place to fly in and go see some weather. See the Microsoft Flight Simulator put its weather through its paces. I'm really looking forward to the improved weather modeling in 2024, though. I think that is going to be a big deal. And if you can get things like tornadoes, I mean, oh man, I could spend time in Flight Sim just looking for tornadoes. I would absolutely love that. Brett says, well, it was 13. Ooh, that's a frigid temperature. Almost the end of winter, and spring is on its way. 12 now at 9:22. Yeah, that's colder. I mean, for you guys, that's practically below zero, isn't it? Walk around in snowsuits. Temperature here, I think right now is, we're, Scotland obviously doesn't get as warm, but we're about 19 degrees or so, but it's been very overcast. There's been a lot of rain. You're still in shorts. Everyone knows a guy that's wearing shorts. Everyone. I've got a friend Cammy. He's a big guy, like a really big guy. Not like necessarily fat, it's just big. And he runs hot. We say he runs hot because he's always walking around in shorts, even in the dead of winter when it's like, 2 degrees. He's still walking around in shorts. I mean, as soon as it gets below 15 degrees, I'm in trousers, man. It's too cold for me. Okay, top percent is looking about 170 miles off. 187 miles, sorry, top descent. Brett says, I'm in Tasmania. Oh, I didn't know you were Tassie. Okay. We run maybe 10 to 25 over the whole year. Okay, fair enough, yeah. Because of course, you're further south, aren't you, anyway? Maybe 12 in the winter and 22 in the summer. Okay, sounds very similar to Scotland, actually. Very similar. Although we don't get quite as warm as that, and we do get Scotland. It's, well, less common, but we do regularly see temperatures go below zero, but not as much as I've seen in the past. And we do get snow from time to time as well. If you go up further north in Scotland, you definitely see snow. Definitely see snow. But yeah, it's very cloudy in Mexico. I was interested to find out too, Brett. Just checking the temperature in Mexico right now. It's only 14 in Mexico City, which I found very interesting. But it could be because of the altitude. Nighthawk says we had torrential rain from Storm Debbie. Yeah, I saw that on the news. Lots of flooding in the cities and idiots driving to water. There's always guys that think their car's invincible. I actually remember, I was back in Hamilton, but we had a flash storm, and it was literally a foot of water in the streets. It was crazy. And so we were sitting up in a balcony just watching everything carry on below us, and you could see a massive puddle really deep one, and a guy was wading through it. It was up to his knees, actually past his knees possibly. And then you get this, this idiot kid in a Honda Civic thinking, "Oh, I can get through it." And he hit the water at speed, and he got about halfway through it, and the car just went, and that was it. He was stuck. Oh, a whole gang's coming in. We got Tippy17. He says, "Hello, my eyes are burning looking at your hat." Go Leafs, go. I knew someone would react to that. I knew. And Mrs. has jumped in. She says, "Hello, hello. Nice to see you guys. How's everyone doing?" I'm doing okay. I'm just saying work is a bit challenging, but I think on the whole, Brett's joined us today too. He says he's doing pretty good in Tasmania there. So, what's the temperature like where you guys are at the moment? We're just talking about the different temperatures around the world right now, because it's. I was surprised to find out it was only 14 degrees in Mexico City. I'd be interested to see if the missus is enjoying my music as well. Just a little bit of, kind of slow salsa action there. "20 degrees and sunny at 7:30 a.m. That sounds absolutely splendid. Perfect temperature. Perfect temperature. Perfect temperature. Some on screen there. Yeah, we're just currently over the middle of the Gulf of Mexico right now. Well, as far as Mexico itself is concerned. So we should be seeing land soon. It's very overcast though. Took off from Cancun. Got a virtual sunburn in Cancun, and now we're flying to Mexico City. But no, really great to hear from you guys. I hope you're all doing very well. So whereabouts are you guys that's 20 degrees and sunny anyway, roughly? Speaking of hockey, I was my cousin's a rabid Leafs fan, and he saw a picture of me wearing the Canadiens hat. So anybody doesn't know, this is Montreal Canadiens, which have a great history as a good team, but at the moment they're absolutely trash. I think they're bottom of the league. They have been for about the last couple of years. But anyway, my cousin's a rabid Leafs fan. When he saw a picture of my hat, he's like, "I'm not speaking to you anymore." You're in Ontario. Oh, near Toronto. Okay. Well, I'm from Hamilton, right? I'm from Hamilton. Oh, east. Okay, so you're kind of like out Ajax way. Or towards Kingston. So yeah, he's like, "Well, you just watch the Leafs this year." This is, of course, back in the spring there. So you just watch the Leafs this year. You'll see a real team play in the playoffs. I went, okay. I say, "So you don't believe in the curse then?" He says, "No, there's no such thing as a curse. It's a load of crap." I'm like, okay. And then, obviously, they crashed out of the playoffs. And I messaged him, and I said, "So how did you think the Leafs this year?" And I just got a F off. Oshawa. Okay, I know Oshawa. Yeah, I've been to Oshawa quite a lot, actually. I've got, actually, a good high school friend of mine lived in Oshawa for a while, but they moved back to his wife's original town, which is, I'm trying to think where it is. Is it Allison? It's a small town around there anyway. The Leafs are hopeless, but you're still playing? Of course. Of course. I wouldn't expect anything else. It's like, for me, It's like supporting Canada in the Rugby World Cup. I know they're going to get absolutely flattened, but you still cheer for them. I mean, even hockey nowadays, Canada's not really that reliable anymore. So they didn't do particularly well in the last World Cup, did they? It always seems to be the youth teams that do better, I've noticed, for Canada. But yeah, the kind of the men's teams just, it's not been anything to write home about last few years, has it? Of course, over here it's in Scotland, it's football. So we had a six-week break, and I thought, oh great, nobody will be talking about football for 6 weeks because I get sick of it. It's like some guys, it's like nothing exists outside it. And then, of course, I forgot that the Euros were on. So the football season, and I'm like, yes. And then it's like, oh, and then a friend of mine, he's like, I can't wait. First game of the Euros starts Monday, and I was like, ah, crap. So, and the Euros pretty much filled the gap, and now the regular leagues are started up again. Oh, drives me up the wall. Nighthawk says the Toronto professional women's hockey team made it to the semifinals in their first season. Fantastic. Yeah, they are. The women's side are great, and I was just a bit devastated about the what happened with the Canadian women's football team in the Olympics. I mean, how stupid is that? The coach was flying a drone over one of the other teams. I mean, why would you even do that? What are you going to gain from that? But yeah, they got penalized 6 points, and they're absolutely devastated. It's such a horrible thing for the coach to do to that team. And I'm sure the team had no awareness of what was happening, and because there was an interview with one of the players, she was absolutely devastated. Yeah, Nighthawk's up in front of me. He's in the Airbus 320 there. Top descent is about 100 miles off. So we'll have to have a think about platform altitude. So probably just drop it to our final platform altitude, which will be 8,900 feet. The runway is 7,347 feet. It's very, very high. Highest runway I've ever landed at in Flight Simulator. So I was just looking at it, now I forgot. 8,900, right? Okay. So we'll dial that in once we get a bit closer. So I'll write that down for reference. Nighthawk says it comes as common practice to observe other soccer teams using drones. Nearly all soccer practice is publicly observable anyway. Yeah, I mean, I guess, but obviously the Olympics must have had a policy against that. So it sounds like if it is common practice, the coach obviously didn't read the memo. And of course, with the penalty points, there was no way that Canada could ever actually get out of the group stages, unfortunately. Which is a shame, because I think the Canadian women's team is actually pretty good. Certainly did better than the men's team did in the World Cup. I'll say that much. But I think the Canadian men's team was better than how they played. I think it was a confidence issue. I think they were just absolutely shell-shocked that they were at the World Cup, and I think it just got the better of them, unfortunately. Because there's some pretty good players on the Canadian men's side. But for me, I'm getting excited because the rugby season is going to be starting up soon as well. So I've become a very big fan of rugby over here, rugby union. And we have two kind of key tournaments as well. So we have the November test matches when the Tri-Nation, so that's South Africa, Australia, and New Zealand, come over to Britain, and they play. Each one plays either Wales or England or Ireland, or Scotland, I should say. And there's always a big one of those games at Murrayfield in Edinburgh, and it's absolutely jam-packed. I mean, I think the stadium's about 60,000 people, and you cannot get a ticket if you don't have one in advance. And then in the springtime, then we have, or kind of winter spring, we have the Six Nations, which is a really, really great tournament. Absolutely love watching it. And Scotland did okay this year. I think they were about middle of the pack for Six Nations. Top descent now looking around 90 miles, I think. Yep. 98. We're getting there. We're getting there. Should be starting to see land shortly. Yeah. Nighthawk says Rugby 7 is awesome to watch. Canadian women are really good. Yeah, I've heard that, actually. I haven't actually seen any footage of them playing, but I've heard they're pretty good. I'll tell you who's amazing is the women's Ireland's women's team are freaking phenomenal. Wow. Because it's not always guaranteed. Oh, you can see land ho. There we go. See some mountains in the background there, which we'd expect to see with the elevation. Yeah, it's not always guaranteed the women's team's going to be as strong as the men's team, but I think Ireland's got a brilliant women's side. I think New Zealand's got a pretty decent team as well, but I don't think Australia's women's team's that good. They got a silver in the Olympics. Oh, fantastic. I didn't see that. Oh, was that the sevens? Yeah, the sevens, yeah. Oh, of course, yeah. No, yeah, did I see them play? I don't think I did. Yeah, they seemed really strong. I was quite impressed with them, actually. We have a local sevens tournament in the village that I live in as well, which is really fun. And it was actually televised this year as well. So we had a TV crew came in and a guy interviewing players, and two guys from the Scottish national squad made a guest appearance as well, so I got to meet them. That was really neat. Some local celebrities. There's a lot of strange things that happen down here. We've got a Scottish darts champion just hosted a Pro-Am darts tournament in one of the social clubs down the road as well. And it was £500 cash prize for the winner. 500 quid. So they were expecting quite a few top players to come in. Actually, no, it's today. It wasn't yesterday, it's today. So yeah, I'm kind of curious. I'm interested to see it play out, actually. But yeah, it's I think for 500 quid, you're probably going to expect some pretty big names to come in. Well, local names. I wouldn't say like big darts players. Obviously, it's just chump change to them, isn't it? Okay. Top of descent is closing in. Wonder, is Mr. and Mrs. Tippy still with us? Because I was going to say something about Oshawa. Specifically, it was Belleville. I had a girlfriend in Belleville for a period of time, but it didn't work out because she was too far away. You're still there, yeah. Belleville's pretty close to Oshawa, isn't it? Yeah, I had a girlfriend there, but at the time I was living up in Grey County, and it was like a 3-hour drive to go and visit it, and it wasn't working out. Plus, I'm pretty sure that she had another fancy fellow as well. Some days when I'd phone her, she'd be like ecstatic to talk to me, and other days it was like she couldn't get off the phone quick enough. It's like, oh, okay. Well, I ain't driving for 3 hours to see your sorry ass anymore, so we quit. 2 hours or so east of you, yeah. But Oshawa's still on the GO train line, isn't it? Or rather, you can get a GO train to Oshawa, I think. Can you not? Okay, top percent's getting closer, so we're going to set our platform altitude, which is 8,900. Way down. Oop, too far. There we go. Just so we can give VNAV permission to descend the plane once we hit it. Oshawa is end of the line. Yeah. Supposed to go to Bowmanville shortly. Really? Wow. Yeah, I mean, they were talking, I don't know if it's happened yet, but they're talking about running the Lakeshore West line daily all the way down to Niagara Falls and back. Which is, I mean, that's a good solid 2 hours. Like. So, figures, I mean, it's taken them years to improve that service. Because when I was in Hamilton, the Lakeshore West line terminated in Hamilton, but it only ran in the morning to Toronto, like one direction. And there was 3 trains. There was one at, I think there was 6:30, 7 o'clock, and 7:30. And after that, that was it. You're stuffed. You were taking a bus, basically. Also, sometimes the bus was nicer, but and then coming back, you had 4:30, 5 o'clock, 5:30, and 6:30. And if you missed any of those trains, again, you're stuffed. You're on a bus. But now they were talking about. They keep talking about running them every hour at least. But I think it's only happening on the weekend. I'm not seeing it happening during the week, which is kind of stupid. Only place east of Toronto I've visited is the zoo. And that's back when the zoo was surrounded by wilderness. Yeah, I know. Tell me about it. Just I don't know where all these houses come from. Who buys them, you know? I wanted to take the kids to the zoo when we were over a few years ago, but the day that we were planning to go, there was a massive traffic accident on the 401, and they were basically just telling everyone just to avoid Toronto area because everything was backed up to hell. So we didn't go because we didn't want to, you know, to try and take the kids and sit in traffic for 2 hours. Yeah, it goes right. It does go to Niagara Falls now. Yeah, almost a 4-hour ride. Who wants to be on a GO train for 4 hours? God. I think the hour 15 or whatever it took for to get from Toronto to Hamilton was enough for me. I mean, and that was express to Clarkson as well. It was still an hour 15. Toronto Zoo turns 50 next week. Wow, didn't realize it was that old. Mind you, yeah. I suppose it would be because it's always been around since I was alive, and I don't want to say what my age is. It's getting close to that number. Slight course correction. We're definitely over land now. We start to see that elevation building as we get towards Mexico City. Look at that. Huck says, compare how far you could go on a 4-hour high-speed train. Oh, yeah, I know. Well, I mean, as an example, and I wouldn't even call it high speed, but I can get from Edinburgh to London in 4 hours and 10 minutes. And that's a lot further than, say, Oshawa to Hamilton or something like that. I mean, the thing with Toronto is it's not so much it's the distance, it's just the traffic. If you drove a place at night, you're gonna cut about 30 to 40% of your time off it, aren't you? Around there, it just got so busy. And when I was briefly over in Canada in May to see my father's grave, and you know, coming to Toronto Airport, it's awful. I hate it. And then getting out of the airport and you know, battling the traffic to get anywhere from Toronto Airport is just such a nightmare. I mean, it's good they have a train now, but the train only goes to Toronto downtown. You know, it's it would have been nice if they could have run that train, you know, to the airport and actually continued it on back to Lakeshore, like further south, rather than just running it straight to Toronto. But I know that was never going to happen. And now they got this weird thing where Air Canada's, they've got a coach. I think it's a free coach. See, if you're departing on Air Canada from Toronto and you live in Hamilton, you drive to Hamilton Airport, and then you can get on an Air Canada coach that takes you to Toronto Airport. Why? It's like, I'd rather just fly from Hamilton. That's why I really miss the last airline that used to fly direct into Hamilton from Scotland was Globespan, and it was amazing. So we departed from Edinburgh, I think. Was it Edinburgh? Yeah, Edinburgh. Flew over Toronto, landed in Hamilton. From the time the wheels hit the ground, I was sitting on my uncle's back porch with a beer in my hand within 25 minutes. It was absolute breeze to get through. It was such a great experience. And I mean, it's just the duty-free shop's about the size of like a Becker's or a 7-Eleven, right? It's tiny, and then you got that, and you got Tim Hortons, and that's it. Of course, there's going to be a Tim Hortons in Hamilton Airport, right? But yeah, it was just a lovely airport to fly out of. Tippy says we have a couple friends that do a ton of traveling for business and pleasure. They will drive to Buffalo. Yeah. It'll cost them about $500 to $600 less than if they flew out of Pearson. Doesn't surprise me at all. I mean, we considered flying to Buffalo from Britain, but it's a connecting flight. So you have to connect in like LaGuardia or something like that. But then it was like the added bother of trying to cross the border when we're not actually flying, when we're not actually intending to stay in the States. So I didn't know how easy or hard that it would be, because I'm a Canadian, have a Canadian passport, but my kids and my wife they're just British. So I didn't. The problem is you're going to have to, if you fly into, or Britain's going in America, have to pay a $15 visa charge, I think, as well. So we'd automatically you're talking $45 American just for landing, and we'd only be in like the United States for all of about 10 minutes, and then crossing the border into Canada. But yeah, I mean, it would be a far better way to go, and less traffic as well. But top descent is creeping up there, so we should see the plane starting to descend soon. Yeah, that's the downside doing the border stuff, yeah, and who knows if they're going to hold you up. Yeah, exactly. And then coming back, so it's actually going into Canada is probably not as much of a problem, but it's coming back to say I'm driving to the airport, and it's like, policy-wise, you're probably okay, but you could just get like a border guard having a bad day, and next thing you got to get hauled in. They got to check through, and that's the other problem. Like if you're flying, you have to cross back into the States to get to Buffalo Airport, and you've got a flight that day. Like you have to allow potentially for being delayed up to 2 hours at the border, because they have to process you again, right? And it's I think it'd just be, the stress would probably outweigh the value. I think if it was me personally, I'd probably do it. But I don't know if I'd drag the family through that. I think that'd be just horrendous. Okay, plane is starting to descend. We're almost at the end of our journey. Let's see if we can plant this thing down at 7,500 feet. Sneak peek of our arrival there. So we are, once we get into our arrival, we'll be hooking to the left, coming back around, and then there's our runway extended line there for 5 right. I'll check, do a quick pressure check as well. 3038. Yes, that's still the same. So it looks like the weather is pretty much, and the winds have actually dropped. They have offset a bit more, but 4 knots is probably not even going to make a dent on the plane when we're landing. So that's good. Should be nice and easy. The one thing I'll say, when I was in Canada, and I guess you guys are probably used to it by now, I don't know, but man, that whole country just smelled like weed. The whole country smells like weed. I couldn't believe it, because I hadn't been back since it's been legalized, and it's just anywhere you went, it was always like a wafting in from somewhere. I swear to God, there was a Rastafarian probably sneaking behind me the whole time I was there, just puffing away without me able to see him. Nighthawk says all these photo finishes in canoe racing. Yeah, I know. Very close. I did see one of those actually. Saw one with 4 people in photo finish today. Perfect. That makes it exciting, doesn't it? Then you got the downside. You got all these swimming athletes have been swimming in the river in Paris, and then one guy was throwing up for 20 minutes. Oh. Hippie says, "Yep, everywhere you drive, you smell it." I know. It was driving me up the wall. I honestly, and I hate to say it, it was nice to visit home again, but I couldn't wait to get back on that airplane. I could not stand it. Because I hate the smell of it, and it actually gives me headaches if it's too strong. And I couldn't get out. I couldn't get on that plane quick enough, honestly. But I also live in an area like in the Scottish borders, which is surrounded by hills and fresh air as well. So I did find that I was noticing and feeling the effects of the pollution a lot more than I remember. And it's probably just because I've just not been around it. I can really see the elevation climbing there. Look at that. Beautiful part of the world. I mean, you don't think Mexico is like a mountainous place, do you? But it is. Nighthawk says the water standards for the scene are 3 times lower than Canada. Yeah. Well, I mean, I wouldn't swim in the Credit River, let alone like the Seine, and I sure as hell wouldn't swim in the Thames. Even our local river, which is probably immaculate by comparison, is still quite dangerous with bacteria at times. You have to really be careful. Massive volcanoes on your left. Oh yeah, there you go. Oh, there's Stu. Oh, he's in a flanker, the new flanker. Unfortunately, it won't look like a flanker when we see it, but. Is that, who did that one, Stu? Was that DC Designs or... Brett says Mexico City is in the valley of a bunch of mountains and still high elevation. Yeah, I know. And that's the airport elevation there, 7,300. It's the highest elevation I've landed at in Flight Simulator ever. I've just never, for whatever reason, never flown to Mexico City. Okay, let's see where we're supposed to be 2,700 above. It looks like the airplane's happy. It's not really... Oh, steep descent after MX751. Okay, so we want to make sure we got the brakes ready. Just to help the airplane out a bit. I'll actually leave that memo up just to remind myself in case I forget. We're below path at the moment though, so I think we're okay. Very, very below path actually. I don't know why it's flying the descent quite like that. And it probably explains why it's so cold in Mexico City right now, because it's only 14 degrees. Look at that. A lot of farmland around here, though. Beautiful. I'm always amazed, you know, in Flight Simulator, you fly to all these different parts of the world, and there's so many places in the world that have their own kind of unique beauty. And they look completely different from everywhere else. It's astounding at times. I tell you what we should do. We should do, Brett, we should fly to Tasmania, actually. I don't think I've ever done that. What's the major airport in Tasmania? That might be a good idea. Here, bring that. So MX751 has a steep descent. Remember that. Because we have to be at 18,000 by the time we get to MX755, that's why. So yeah, we got to drop just about 10,000 feet. Hobart. Quite a lot of freeware for Tasmania. Oh, that's good. That's good. I'll check that out. I'll tell you what. It's beautiful down here. Yeah, we should check it out. Absolutely. If anybody knows the best freeware scenery, maybe you could drop a link for me in the Discord there. And speaking of Discord, if you are not a member of our Discord, join us. You can check out anytime you like, but you can never leave. And do hit the like and subscribe for me, guys, if you're watching. And if you're watching away but you're not chatting with us, feel free to pop in and say hello in the chat. We've got lots of nice people with us today, and it's actually keeping me great company. Thank you, everyone. Brett, Mr. and Mrs. Tippy, and Nighthawk. Is Dark Fury still with us? Let's see. He's saddled off into the distance. Okay, that steep descent's coming up, so we're going to be ready on the brakes. No problem. No problem, thank you. Still here? So are you guys like sitting side by side, or using your phones, or how does it work? Oh, question for you guys. Did anybody go to, genuine interest, did anyone go to an air show this year, and what was the most exciting thing you saw? I'd love to know. The Canadian Armed Forces put on a fantastic show at the International Air Tattoo in London this year. Or not London, but where is it? England, anyway. And there's some great displays. 2 separate CF-18 displays, actually. And there was a something that looked like a Beech 18. It was absolutely sparkling silver. It looked really, really cool. You're on your phone, sitting outside. Very nice. Oh, and she's inside. Oh, okay. You're chatting to each other through my my YouTube channel. That's interesting. Or our YouTube channel, I should say. Positive Rate. Join the Discord server. Muted the server already. Thank you. Toronto Air Show is in a few weeks. Oh, the CNE. Yeah. The Italian Air Force acrobatic team has been touring Canada. Oh, they're really good. They're amazing. And they've done flybys in Ottawa and Toronto. Very cool. Very cool. Alright, steep descent. Let's get the brakes out. You can see that profile dropping right down there. So if the plane's got brakes, use them. You definitely need them if you're landing into Edinburgh as well, because of the constraints. Hi, also, sorry, on the phone. Oh, hi, Stu. Glad you're still here. You're still flying about in that flanker. Can't see you. I just gotta keep an eye on this descent because we gotta drop to about 18,000. It says we're okay though. I think I'm gonna put the brakes back. We might not need them for a bit. Let's see if it can hold the profile without them. The huge Mars seaplane water bomber. Yeah! Isn't that an awesome sight? It's doing a final flight to BC Aviation Museum and will be escorted by snowbirds. That's cool. Are they, see when it gets to BC, are they going to continue to fly it? Or are they just going to lock it in a museum and that's it? You know, that'd be an awful shame. But what a gorgeous thing. I saw some footage on YouTube of it. And it's an astounding thing to see. Beautiful plane. Okay. Profile is closing up now. We'll just see if the plane can keep up with it. It's starting to drift a little bit. I'm just keeping an eye on the indicated airspeed. If it starts, well, it looks like it's holding. It's holding the line. I think we're okay now. So just need a little shot of speed braking just to get the plane to drop a bit. Right, final check. So we are landing brief. We are landing runway 5 right. ILS is too late for that. 55 degrees set on course. ILS 10910. Pop in. That is set. We will be using auto brakes 1 today. Flaps 30. And our landing reference is 130 plus 5. Okay, we're starting to drift above the profile again, so we'll get the brakes out. Look at that. Looks awfully dry, as cold as it might be. Okay, and that little bit of braking is just helping the airplane stay on profile. And you can see it is quite a sharp descent if you're at 2,500 feet. So, just so we can nail that 18,000. And we're going to be stuck at 18,000 for a while, actually. After that, seems pretty gradual descent, so nothing really to worry about. But we're much closer to the ground than you think. So I keep forgetting, that ground is 7,300 feet. So, well, we think we're at 18,000. We're actually, we're only at about 10,000, really. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the landing lights on, actually. Low profile, put those brakes away again. Be right back. The wife boiled a kettle to make a cuppa. Oh, the sound of the kettle got you in, did it? Been testing out your new toy. Yeah, very cool. I've seen some YouTube footage of it. Looks pretty good. Nicely modeled. Standard pressure. We're now going to 30.38 inches mercury. And again, we're starting to drift again. I'll just leave those brakes on, actually. Actually, we don't need to because we're going to be holding 18,000 for a while. About 18,000 above now is 18,000 fixed. Oh, look at these views. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? You wouldn't think Mexico City would be interesting, would you? It is stunning. Look at that. All these mountain ranges there. And the clouds just kind of cresting the mountaintops. So it must have a slightly higher transition altitude here, actually, if it's calling for that. Okay, leveling off at 18,000. Seatbelts can come on now. if we can see that airport anywhere. Must be around here somewhere, isn't it? There's lots to look at, though. Look at that. Beautiful. That must be something to see in real life, I'll tell you. Right. Auto brakes are set. Flame lights on. Anything else we need to worry about at the moment? I think we're okay. As soon as we get down to about Almas, we'll get flaps one out just to give us a little bit of extra drag. Look at that. Stunning. Not cool. I love it. Are we not living in like the best era for a flight simulator? Absolutely crazy. And it's all accurate. That's what I love about it. Everything you see is actually there in real life. It's so cool. Okay, we've got a sharp hook coming up. I'll be ready on the brakes just in case, but I think we should be alright. Should be over here somewhere. Around that area. Looks very Ice Agey, this area, doesn't it? A lot of kind of crevices carved into the ground. You know what? It kind of looks like an old ocean bed. Sorry, Stu's saying Willy Canuck. were you trying to get my attention, Stu? Okay, here we go. Get a nice view of this bank. It's quite a sharp turn. Look at that lush forest down below us, though. Are you just saying hi? Okay. Beautiful. Plane is starting to slow down. Still below profile though, so we don't need any braking at the moment. And we're into the approach. Ding the cabin crew, getting the tidy up the cabin, get ready. Flight ignition, go to continuous. I didn't know that reset, that's weird. Okay. It's showtime. Hard constraint of 14,000 at almost there. There's our runway line. Quick check on the winds. We're back up to 6 knots, so it looks like the winds have reverted back to the original. and the dew point's dropped as well, so the pressure is slightly increased to 3039. Not critical, but we'll make the adjustment. There we go. Other than that, looks like we're good to go. Well, I'm delighted all of you came along today. It's been lovely chatting with you. It's always makes the time go more quickly as well when you get a good chance to talk to everybody. And I always feel like you know, flight simulation is a community upon itself. But I think all of us we're like a super community of who have bonded over you know, fantastic content creators like Oz Flight Simmer and EasyJet Sim Pilot and Two-Tone Murphy. Can't forget Two-Tone Murphy. It's always great to see the same names. You know, I often watch you know, other content creators, and I always see the same names coming up, and it's just like we're like a band of friends, and we just float from different places. So I'm always really delighted when I'm streaming myself and I get to chat to all of you. It's always great to have you along. T-Tone, oh yeah, he's a mental. Of course I've talked to Robin quite a lot offline. He's been on my radio show a few times, and he's his wit is it's like that. He's so sharp, and he speaks so fast at times as well. If he's really excited, he's just like, I can't even imitate it, but like, you know, if he's talking about an airplane, he's like, you gotta see this airplane. It's absolutely amazing. You can get in the side here. Look at this. Look at the detail on this. It's absolutely spectacular. I tell you, you're never gonna find anything like this. It's just like, he just goes. But he's a lovely, lovely man. And I remember first started watching him when he only had 1,000 subscribers. I remember watching Sid Squad during COVID when they only had 1,000 subscribers. And I don't know if anybody's checked in on Sid Squad recently. And you know what? If as busy as they are, I'll go in and they'll have like 1,000 viewers on Sid Squad. And if I get their attention and say, hey guys, how you doing? They still to this day shout out and say, hey, well, it's so great to see you. Really miss you. You know, they're still the same old guys, and always great to. They always send me a good shout out, and a couple times I've actually been invited to talk online with them as well while they're at the presenting their air watching at Sydney. It's pretty cool. It's just a great community we have, and I've made so many friends through it as well, including all of you. Okay, right. Game face 12. Next constraint is 12,500 above. Profile seems completely fine. I think what we'll do is we'll drop a stage of flaps just to give. Whoop. Come on. Just to give a little bit of drag for the plane. Starting to see some settlements now. Look at that. This is amazing. This is gorgeous. I'm absolutely loving this. Yeah, he is hilarious. Yeah. Next time you'll try and join me in the sim. Oh, that'd be awesome. Yeah. What's your favorite plane to fly? Okay, we are above profile. I'm going to get the brakes out just in case the plane is struggling. It's trying to decelerate as well. I think that's part of the issue. We've got to get down to, okay, 11,000 is our next. I'm going to just take in the range a bit there because I can't quite see what's happening. Things are going to happen very quickly here. Brett and another guy, Gavin, are go-to streamers. Yeah, okay. Your members, subscribers, a few other things, but things and people change. Yeah, for sure. Of course. And you know, that's the great thing about it too. There's so many, you have so much choice in terms of, and everyone's trying to do something a little bit different. And you know, sometimes I'm in the mood to watch to Shane or Easy Gavin on EasyJet SimPilot or something like that. And then sometimes, you know, I like watching Dave, Big Jacko, just because he's crazy. And if I want to laugh a bit, I'll watch Two-Tone. You know, it's great to be able to watch all these different guys. Brett says I never change. Yeah, I never get to see you, Brett, because you're usually on Twitch, aren't you? I'll tell you what, Brett, why don't you drop a link to your Twitch channel in the chat there, and I'll make sure the mods push it through. Okay, down to 9,700. Brakes are out. And yes, we're at 10,000 feet, but the ground looks a heck of a lot closer than usual, doesn't it? Look at that. Mexico City, everybody. Astounding. Astounding.
2,500.
Radio altimeter is live. Oh, Brett, you're on YouTube. Okay, I thought you were on Twitch for some reason. Well, drop your link in anyway. Now I'm gonna arm the BOR lock mode there. But I'm pretty happy. I think we're where we need to be, so I can take the brakes off. I'm gonna get flaps 5 out here. And I think we'll get the once we start turning. I'm gonna drop the gear now, actually. Flaps 10. I might actually just let the VNAV control the speed for the time being. Arm the approach. As you can see that we've got ILS, we got low capture. I can see the glide scope needle starting to float down a bit. The plane's flying under it. It's doing that deliberately. It's coming down to 8,900 where we're going to pick up the final approach. That's why you love Brett, because he's true to himself, laid back, and doesn't take advantage and treat his members as a simple number. Yeah, quite right. Nobody should ever do that. I can think of a few that do, but nobody that I watch. Brett says I'm on the phone at the moment. We'll link after when I get back to PC. No problem, mate. I'm so glad you're here. Okay, you can see our runway. So we are going to go Terminal 2, so we'll take our first exit lane to the right there. Okay, flaps 15, gears down. VNAV is dropping the speed for us. Thank you very much. I usually do speed intervention on this occasion. I'll let the VNAV tank. I'm going to do 25. And finally flaps 30. There we go. We have ILS capture. Second autopilot can come on. We are now fully configured for landing. Final ding to the cabin crew. And all of our lights can come on as well.
1,000.
A little bit of crosswind. Getting ready on the stick. As soon as we start bumping a bit, I'll take control. Okay. My controls. Drifting to the left a bit.
500.
Definitely slight crosswind there.
400. Approaching minimums. 300. Minimums.
Continue. Little high.
200.
Okay, ignoring those VASIs now, I'm just heading right for the touchdown zone. Got 11,000 feet to play with.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
pressure's on. Manual braking. Oh, Tim! Everybody's coming in here. Hi, Tim. How you doing? Nice landing, says Tim. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Well, we missed all of our exit lanes, but it's okay. Oh, there's one there. That's fine. How the heck are you, Tim? Well, it's been a great conversation. Lots of friends coming in today. I'm so happy. Vacated 5 right. Doing well. Perfect. Glad to hear it. Tim, you should post one of your amazing macro photographs in the Discord, because I think a lot of people will be amazed what you're taking photos of these days. Tim, of course, if you don't know, he's a corporate pilot, an actual pilot, and he's started photographing nature. He's been sharing some of his shots with me recently. They're absolutely astounding. Beautiful shots. Flaps are rolling in there. Warning lights can come off. Strobes off. And we'll make our way to Terminal 2. Probably get there a little bit quicker. Oh, I can see a flanker up there. Or it won't look like a flanker. Look at those mountains. Everywhere you look. Isn't that crazy? That's a good question. Tim, have you ever been to Mexico City? This is my first high altitude landing. Bring that APU online. No? It's very high. 7,300 indicated. Can't see Nighthawk anywhere though. What terminal see that? It's high elevation high. Well, actually, yeah, it is, but it's only 14 degrees Celsius at the moment, which I thought was interesting. It seemed a bit colder than I expected. East Stu is our guide here. Let's head over to where he is. Maybe because it's still nighttime? Oh, could be. Yeah. Switch it to real time here. So. Yeah, I didn't even think about that, actually. Thank you, Brett. You just made me realize how silly I am. Still very early morning, yeah, it is. Yeah, thank you for pointing that out, guys. So it could get very hot then. It's a big airport, though. Not even we're close to a terminal yet. 726, yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, I'll put it real time because it does look kind of pretty. And this is just default scenario, guys, so there's nothing to really show you apart from the reason I picked this destination today was the approach, and the approach did not disappoint. It did not disappoint. Absolutely stunning to come in. Brett says I've done a few flights in Sim, and what time. The time is not always what I think it is. Yeah. Right. Gonna cross over here at some point. Oh, there we go. There's a terminal. Hang a left at the next one. Probably could have gone there, actually. Oh, it's 6:27 minus 6. Yeah, of course it will be. Because they'll be on what, Mountain Time? No, not Mountain Time. Central. If they go by that time zone, I don't know. Steam says you have 4,259 flight hours and flights. That's a full-time job, man. That's a lot of flight. A lot of virtual flying. Well, this airport looks pretty cool, actually. I'll tell you, for default, it looks alright. Yeah, that's interesting. Didn't expect that. Only counts when the wheels are up. Well, the steam hours only count. That's pretty cool. Oh no, the sim says you have 14. Yeah. Yeah, of course. Yeah, I can't. It's flight hours. Yeah. Yes. It's a pretty funky looking airport, actually. Brakes on. APU power armed, and engine's going to come off. There we go. Okay. All the lights are off. Yeah. Let's see if we can get that gate to come out. No. Doesn't want to, so we'll do it the other way. Only 100 or so in the last 6 months, so okay. Well, 2,500, that's still a lot. That's a heck of a lot. And Stu says in Steam he's got 2,277 hours. Wow. Nighthawk says maybe it's default to have some freeware. Yeah, it is default, yeah. That's not default. Oh, is it? Wait. I do... Maybe this is Orbix scenery, actually, now that I think about it. I think this might be Orbix scenery. It must be. Yeah, it must be. Okay. Well, okay, so I do have some scenery to show you then. I think it is. It's Orbix scenery, actually. There you go. Yes. Welcome to Mexico City, guys. This is available on Orbix. I forgot that I had this, actually. And yeah, the splendid detail there. Look at that. I thought it was looking pretty good for default. There you go. Has anyone tried any of the AI ATC programs? No, I haven't. There's quite a few YouTube videos of people trying it out. I think it's probably a little bit hit and miss. I'm not sure. Anyway, well, so there you go. This is this is not available from Orbix. If I go to, let's look at nighttime then. Yeah, see, I wouldn't say it's that hot though. That amazing at night. I don't know if this is. This can't be default. That must be default. I don't know. Doesn't matter. That's what happens when I don't check ahead of time. Anyway, I think we've lost Nighthawk. I don't know what's happened to him. So I can't see if I can see him anywhere. No. So anyway, a huge shout out to Nighthawk. Nighthawk was flying with me most of the way today, and a big thank you to everybody in the chat. So Tim, Corporate Pilot Dad, Brett, Mr. and Mrs. Tippy, Stu, and of course Nighthawk, Dark, who was in earlier as well. Thank you so much for coming along today, guys. It's kept me company. It's made me very happy. I really do appreciate it. And I hope the Latin jazz music didn't put you off too much. I feel like I'm in a cabaret at the moment. You're parked at the opposite side of my nose. Oh, that multiplayer bug's coming again then. That's annoying. Anyway, huge thank you to... that was a nice segue in the music there, actually. So a huge thank you to everyone in the chat, and the music's been all right. Good, that's great. See ya. Great stream. Thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Tippy. I appreciate it. Huge thanks to everybody. Wish you a very enjoyable weekend, and hope everything continues to go well wherever you are. And we'll see you next time right here on Positive Rate. All the best.
Naughty, naughty.